The series begins in high school, where Xi Chi finds Xu Fang asleep next to her. She gently wakes him up with a note on his cheek. The calm is broken when the teacher enters, upset about the poor exam results. He starts writing on the board but notices Xu Fang sleeping. The teacher wakes him up in front of everyone. Xu Fang, confused, asks Xi Chi what the teacher wants. Xi Chi lies, telling him to erase the board. Xu Fang believes her and goes to erase the board, making the teacher even angrier. The teacher punishes him by making him stand for the rest of the class. After class, Xi Chi worries about Xu Fang's revenge but doesn't run away. Xu Fang calls her a coward, so she challenges him to an arm wrestling match. The class watches as Xu Fang wins easily. He declares his victory and demands she follow his orders before leaving. The next morning, Xi Chi talks to her brother, Xi Gang, who says their mother will be home soon. Excited, Xi Chi gets ready for the day. Meanwhile, Xu Fang realizes his bike stand is missing and suspects Xi Chi. He takes her chair in retaliation. Xi Chi, not knowing, grabs her brother's bike stand and chases after Xu Fang. When they meet, things get tense, but sharing breakfast calms them down. Xi Chi agrees to follow Xu Fang's earlier order. He tells her to wear tight pants to school. Xi Chi reluctantly agrees, and the students are shocked when she arrives. Embarrassed, she finds support from her classmates who cheer her on. Their fun is cut short when the teacher arrives and punishes Xi Chi by sending her out of the class. Her brother, Xi Gang, is proud of her for getting her chair back. Later, Xi Chi returns home happy about the pants. Her joy is short-lived when her mother comes home unexpectedly. Panicked, Xi Chi hides the pants in the couch. She then talks to her mom, asking her to stay home instead of going to work. Her mother starts cleaning and finds the pants. At the same time, Xi Chi's father comes home, and she starts to suspect he is having an affair. Xi Chi hears her parents argue and feels guilty. Her mother leaves, and Xi Chi follows her, trying to explain. But her mother tells her to focus on her studies before leaving. The next day, Xi Chi is angry at Xu Fang and avoids him. She writes a note blaming him for everything. The teacher sees Xu Fang is distracted and asks him to solve a problem on the board. Xu Fang struggles, and the class laughs at him. Later at home, Xi Chi finds Xi Gang searching for their missing dog. Worried, she goes to Xu Fang's place to look for it, with Xu Fang bringing an umbrella. To her shock, she sees her father in a car with another woman, confirming her fears of his infidelity. Devastated, she wants to confront him, but Xu Fang stops her and gives her a comforting hug. Despite his efforts, Xi Chi gets angry at him, blaming him for her troubles. She says she wants to end their friendship and walks away, leaving Xu Fang heartbroken. However, he follows her, holding the umbrella to protect her from the rain. Later that day, Xi Chi returns home while Xu Fang comes to apologize. But she refuses to talk to him, telling Xi Gang to close the door and saying their friendship is over. When her father drops her off, Xi Chi scolds him, accusing him of being selfish for leaving them alone so often. She goes to her room and calls her mom, begging her to come home. Her mom says she is busy and hangs up, leaving Xi Chi feeling hopeless. Xi Gang finds her packing her bags, and she tells him she's moving in with their grandfather to focus on her studies. The next day, Xi Chi transfers to a new school, and her old classmates notice she's gone. After school, Xu Fang visits Xi Chi's home and asks Xi Gang where she is. Learning she is staying with their grandfather, he decides to visit her. When he arrives, he sees Xi Chi busy with her studies and hesitates to approach, afraid she is still mad at him. In the end, he decides not to interrupt and leaves sadly. Days go by, and exams come. Xi Chi answers questions while thinking about her childhood with Xu Fang, feeling a void without him. Finally, she says goodbye to Xi Gang and prepares to move into university housing, leaving detailed instructions for her dog. When asked if Xu Fang will pick her up, Xi Chi feels uneasy and says she'll take a taxi instead. At the campus, Xi Chi sees a group trying to rescue a cat stuck in a tree. She steps in confidently and rescues the cat. A charming young man named Shouwen appears and introduces himself. Interested in her studies in veterinary medicine, Shouwen shows her to the girls' dormitory. Grateful, Xi Chi thanks him and says goodbye before entering her new dorm. Inside, she meets friendly roommates who make her feel welcome right away. Later, Xi Chi goes to a lecture with her roommates and is surprised when the professor introduces the top student of the university, Xu Fang, the same person she met earlier. She hears classmates talking about how handsome Xu Fang is, making her curious about her new acquaintance. After the lecture, Xi Chi walks with her friends, who stop to buy ice cream. She sees a child struggling with a bow and arrow and decides to help. She says she is good at it, but misses on her first try, joking it was just practice. When she tries again, Xu Fang appears and helps her, making her hit the target. Xi Chi notices Xu Fang without his glasses, seeing a different side of him. He tells her they are both at the same university and he is in the archery club too. Even though her friends call her, Xu Fang asks her to stay with him, making things a bit awkward. They go to eat, and Xu Fang keeps teasing her. Xi Chi, determined to win, challenges him again. Xu Fang wins and jokingly takes all her money, so Xi Chi has to pay for their meal. When Xi Chi gets home, her friends ask about Xu Fang, and she says he is her neighbor and friend. They compliment his looks, surprising her because she never noticed before. The next day at university, Xi Chi meets Xu Fang, who takes her to a place with many cats. She plays with them happily until her mom calls her to come home. Excited to see her mom, Xi Chi goes and finds out her mom bought her many gifts and is now working nearby to support her. Feeling grateful, Xi Chi says goodbye to her mom. She calls Xi Gang to share the good news, but he does not seem very excited. Meanwhile, Xu Fang impresses his archery coach and is offered the team captain role, which he nervously accepts. In the lab, Xi Chi shows bravery by calmly dissecting and reassuring a scared friend. Xu Fang, eating with a friend, sends Xi Chi a photo of a dissected worm, making his friend laugh. Later, at a restaurant, Xu Fang sees Xi Chi and notices she does not have enough money. He offers to pay for her meal, but he playfully says she has to say something nice to him with each bite as part of their bet. Xi Chi reluctantly agrees, thanking him and complimenting his looks and kindness. Xu Fang secretly records her words. When she finishes eating and gets ready to leave, Xu Fang stops her, saying she has to stay until she completes his request. He jokingly threatens to share the video with their university group. His friend questions his actions, but Xu Fang laughs, saying he is getting back at Xi Chi for bullying him in school. Later, Xi Chi is dozing at her library desk when she gets a call from Xu Fang. He asks her to meet a girl who likes him because he wants to avoid her. Xi Chi reluctantly agrees and meets the girl, who confesses her love for Xu Fang. Xi Chi talks to Xu Fang about it, saying she does not want to hurt the girl. Xu Fang insists on keeping the girl away and persuades Xi Chi to pretend to be his girlfriend. Reluctantly, Xi Chi agrees and tells the girl Xu Fang's wishes, while Xu Fang watches closely. Back in her dorm, Xi Chi tells her friends about the incident, and they are surprised because they thought Xu Fang was a nice person. Later that night, Xi Chi is startled awake and sees a figure in a jacket with a barely visible face walking into her dorm room. She reacts quickly, attacking the intruder and screaming for her friend. When they catch him, they realize he is their fourth roommate returning from vacation. The next day, Xi Chi goes to class, but Xu Fang is not there. When the teacher arrives and calls for attendance, Xu Fang, running late, asks Xi Chi to mark his name. She reluctantly agrees. However, when the teacher calls Xu Fang's name, Xi Chi tries to disguise herself with a cap and respond for him. The teacher playfully exposes her, asking if she thinks he's blind, making the class laugh. At night, Xi Chi hangs out with her friends, playing games and losing a challenge. They urge her to settle a score with a member of the shooting team. Reluctantly, Xi Chi approaches Xu Fang, who dismisses her, humiliating her in front of her friends. Shocked and hurt, Xi Chi refuses to leave and impulsively attacks Xu Fang, hitting him until he is injured. Later, she regrets her actions and goes with Xu Fang to the clinic, where she tends to his wound herself. She apologizes and asks him to stop harassing her, but Xu Fang remains defiant, making her leave in anger. Back at her dorm, Xi Chi finds out someone recorded the fight, and the video spreads across the university, with rumors that she attacked Xu Fang because he rejected her. Humiliated and upset, Xi Chi cries. The next day, Xi Chi disguises herself at the university to avoid being recognized. She overhears students gossiping about her and tries to order food, but is recognized and harassed. Seeking help, Xi Chi confronts Xu Fang, asking him to tell the truth, but he coldly dismisses her and walks away. Furious, Xi Chi thinks about revenge and later sees Xu Fang doing laundry. She secretly adds a red teddy bear to his clothes, making them change color. When Xu Fang finds out about the prank, he gets a message from Xi Chi teasing him, which makes him even angrier. In response, Xu Fang spreads an email claiming a girl is chasing him because he refused to share his account. When Xi Chi sees the post, she feels betrayed and devastated. Feeling sad, Xi Chi finds comfort among the cats and tells Showun about her financial problems. He suggests joining the shooting team, which offers a scholarship and good pay. Even though she lacks experience, Xi Chi is interested and decides to apply. The coach, impressed by her personality, accepts her and introduces her to the team leader, who turns out to be Xu Fang. During training, the coach scolds Xu Fang for his negligence, causing an injury. Xi Chi steps in to treat his wound and tells him she will help the team despite their rocky past. Following that incident, Xu Fang increases his training at the gym, with Xi Chi always supporting him. She overhears the coach saying that the team will be disbanded if they don't win the championship. The coach advises her to keep this secret to avoid discouraging the team. Xi Chi gathers the team and motivates them by cheering, playing music, giving out water, and joining their training sessions. Their bonding is interrupted when the basketball team arrives and mocks them, turning off the music. In a heated argument, a shooting team member fights back, starting a brawl. During the chaos, Xi Chi is knocked down. The coach steps in, scolding them and criticizing Xu Fang as the team captain, punishing him with all-night training. Xi Chi defends Xu Fang, blaming the basketball team, but the coach ignores her. She watches Xu Fang go through tough training and teases him afterward, noting how tired he is. She playfully challenges him, cheating to win and surprising him. Xu Fang asks what she wants in return, and Xi Chi makes him promise to stay as team captain and win the championship. Touched by her determination, Xu Fang agrees. Their relationship improves, and they become happy together again. The next day, Xi Chi visits her mother in the hospital and is thrilled to get the gift she wanted. She tells her mother how happy she is to spend time with her whenever possible. Her mother is moved and hugs her, making up for the times she was absent due to work. After leaving, Xi Chi calls Xi Gang to share the news. Xi Gang sounds upset, and after hanging up, their father arrives, asking why she didn't take the money he left for her. He says he asked Xi Gang to deliver it to her at university. The following day, Xi Chi gets a call from Xi Gang, saying he's in town, and they plan to meet later. At a cafe, she meets someone she knows from online gaming, realizing it's her roommate's sibling. Xi Gang joins them, giving Xi Chi a Visa card and asking her to forgive their father and accept the money. Later, Xi Chi visits the shooting club and sees Xu Fang deeply focused on training. When she hears a team member insulting Xu Fang, she confronts the person and then treats Xu Fang to lunch. After eating, they walk together, looking at the sky. That night, back at the dorm, Xi Chi finds it empty. Showun calls her, and they meet on the rooftop, where she is happy to see a cat has given birth. She shares a touching memory of finding her own puppy as a stray after its mother was killed, which inspired her to study veterinary medicine. Showun is moved by her story and kindness. Unexpectedly, they get locked on the rooftop by the guard, and Xi Chi feels cold. Showun gives her his jacket. Later, Xu Fang arrives with the guard and sees them together, feeling jealous. He takes back the jacket from Showun and gives it to Xi Chi, escorting her downstairs. However, his behavior shows his irritation. Xi Chi teasingly talks about Showun's good qualities, which frustrates Xu Fang more. He abruptly tells her to leave him alone. In response, Xi Chi throws the jacket at him and runs away, leaving Xu Fang visibly upset. The following day, Xi Chi gathers with her friends and excitedly tells them about her rooftop encounter with Showun. She admits feeling happy and hints that she might be developing feelings for him. Meanwhile, Xu Fang is training for shooting, but his friend notices that he seems distracted and sad. His friend suggests that Xu Fang might have feelings for Xi Chi and advises him to confess before it's too late. Xu Fang denies this, saying they are just friends and his teasing is just payback for past bullying. Later, during a lecture, Xi Chi sits beside Showun, who helps her by highlighting key points. Xu Fang, sitting behind them, looks upset. Xi Chi playfully asks Xu Fang why he's staring at the lecturer so much. She notices Xu Fang drawing something and takes the paper, discovering he has sketched a dog's head. Confused, Xi Chi asks him about it, but Xu Fang leaves without explaining. In the evening, Xi Chi and her friend have dinner at a restaurant where Xu Fang and his friend also arrive. This time, Xu Fang ignores Xi Chi, surprising her. Her friend thinks they might have had a fight. Later, at the shooting club, Xi Chi sees the coach getting frustrated with the team's lack of focus. To cheer Xu Fang up after practice, she offers him juice. Xi Chi suggests to the coach that they have a competition against another team to motivate them. The coach likes her idea and agrees, thinking it will help the team perform better. The next day, the coach tells the team about the upcoming competition against a strong university team scheduled for the next week. The team is shocked because they know their opponents are very good. The coach urges them to train hard. Meanwhile, Wu Xing, a team member, develops feelings for Xi Chi and offers her a ride on his bike. She accepts, but Xu Fang sabotages Wu Xing's plans by puncturing his bike tire. Xi Chi leaves Wu Xing and rushes to attend a lecture, making Wu Xing angry. He confronts Xu Fang, threatening him with his bow. The coach steps in, takes Wu Xing's bow, and initially wants to dismiss him from the team. However, after Xu Fang asks for mercy, the coach decides to punish both of them with tough fitness drills instead. Grateful for Xu Fang's intervention, the team reconciles and commits to their training. Xi Chi joins them in a group run and sees their new camaraderie and unity. Despite their hard work, the team is still worried because they know that losing the competition could mean the end of their team. Xi Chi, wanting to lift their spirits, invites them to lunch, but they still feel down because their opponent has never been defeated. That evening, Xi Chi thinks about how to inspire the team and takes action. She grabs a microphone and goes to the men's dormitory, giving a passionate speech about each team member's strengths. Her speech is cut short when the dorm's supervisor chases her, but Shouwen helps her by hiding her in his dorm. Feeling embarrassed, Xi Chi waits until Shouwen convinces the supervisor to leave before sneaking away. The following day, Xi Chi goes to the cat hangout and sees Shouwen feeding the cats. Grateful for his help the previous day, she tells him about the upcoming competition. Impressed, Shouwen offers to help, and they visit the team with a camera. Shouwen spends the day documenting the team's progress, capturing important moments. In the evening, Xi Chi carefully edits the photos, adds the match date, and shares them with friends to rally support for their team. Meanwhile, tensions rise when the coach asks Xu Fang to change his shooting technique. Xu Fang strongly disagrees and gets expelled from the team. When Xi Chi hears about this, she seeks out Xu Fang and reminds him of his promise not to give up. Xu Fang tells her about his former coach who inspired his love for shooting and how changing his style would change who he is. Moved by his story, Xi Chi tries to cheer him up with humor. Determined to help Xu Fang, Xi Chi talks to the coach, highlighting Xu Fang's talent and dedication. She shows the coach the shooting board where Xu Fang practiced tirelessly after being dismissed. Convinced by her determination, the coach reinstates Xu Fang as team leader, believing in his potential for the upcoming competition. Touched by their faith in him, Xu Fang trains even harder, practicing through rainy nights. On the day of the competition, Xi Chi and her friends, along with other students, gather to support the team. Xi Chi's brother also joins to cheer for Xu Fang. The team arrives looking determined, welcomed by encouraging cheers. Both teams prepare, showing confidence and professionalism. The competition starts with the first round, where each team member shoots simultaneously to score points. The scores stay close, making the rivalry intense. During the break, some team members start to doubt themselves, but Xi Chi motivates them with her encouraging words. Xu Fang, as the leader, gives an inspiring speech, boosting their confidence and belief in victory. The second round begins, and Xu Fang faces the opposing team's undefeated captain, known for his skill. Despite the pressure, Xu Fang stays calm, realizing he can match his opponent. Xi Chi continues to cheer him on, boosting his confidence. The match is very close, with the scores tied until the final moments. With tension high, the competition goes into one last decisive round. In a moment of focus, Xu Fang puts on his headphones to block out distractions. Locking eyes with Xi Chi, he aims and releases his arrow, hitting the center of the target perfectly. The referee declares their team the winners, and everyone celebrates. Xi Chi jumps with joy, and the coach lifts Xu Fang in a happy embrace. They celebrate with a meal, where the coach emphasizes the importance of staying focused for future challenges. Xi Chi enjoys a meal at a restaurant with her friends and Showon. Xu Fang, nearby, feels a pang of jealousy. Later that night, Xu Fang approaches Xi Chi and apologizes for his past behavior, revealing that her mother left because of him. Xi Chi reassures him that she forgave him long ago. Xu Fang almost confesses his feelings but holds back. When Xi Chi mentions her new bike, Xu Fang gives her the keys with a smile. Delighted, she takes a ride, and Xu Fang watches with affection. Suddenly, Xi Chi falls, and Xu Fang rushes to her side, concerned. He takes her back to the dorm to ensure she's okay. Later, Xu Fang confides in his friend about his fear of rejection from Xi Chi. His friend advises him to confess soon, warning that Showon might win her over if he waits. The next day, Showon visits the cat hangout and finds Xi Chi asleep. He gently wakes her. Surprised to see Showon, Xi Chi admires his appearance. Showon invites her on a date for the next day, catching Xi Chi off guard, but she agrees. Later, at a restaurant, Xi Chi meets Xu Fang and asks what boys like in girls. Xu Fang teasingly says that any type is preferable except for her. Hurt by his joke, Xi Chi takes his food away, leaving Xu Fang laughing, thinking it's her way of showing interest in him. The next morning, Xi Chi steps out of the dorm to find Showon waiting for her. He compliments her long hair, making Xi Chi happy. They go to the library together, where Xi Chi sits closely beside him while he sketches, showing her interest. As they leave, a sudden gust reveals her wig, surprising Showon. However, he praises her, saying she's beautiful regardless of her hair length. They have a meal together, but Xi Chi accidentally spills meat on her clothes. Undeterred, Showon takes her to a dog shop next, where Xi Chi happily plays with the dogs. They continue their outing with a stroll, during which Showon tries to hold her hand, but Xu Fang interrupts. Seeing Showon with Xi Chi, Xu Fang's jealousy shows, and he makes a mean remark about her appearance before walking away. Xi Chi, surprised by Xu Fang's behavior, thanks Showon for the day and says goodbye. Returning to the dorm, Xu Fang feels sad, remembering their high school days when he and Xi Chi were close, often arguing but always making up the same day. He messages Xi Chi, inviting her to dinner the next day, which he happily accepts. The next evening, they meet for dinner and reminisce about their high school memories. Xu Fang surprises Xi Chi by giving her back a card he took from her long ago, which makes her very happy. Touched by his gesture, she asks if he wants something in return, but Xu Fang insists it's a birthday gift. Later, Xi Chi visits her mother and invites her to dinner for her upcoming birthday. Her mother agrees and playfully asks if Xi Chi has a crush at university, making Xi Chi embarrassed and unwilling to answer. Xi Chi expresses her wish to reconcile with her parents and rebuild their family. Returning to the dorm, she tries to email her father about reconciliation, but his cold response disappoints her deeply. The next day, Xi Chi is awakened by her dormmate, and they board the university bus for a farm trip. Xi Chi sits beside Showon, who is in charge of the outing. When they arrive, they happily take photos with the animals, but Xi Chi accidentally drops her phone without noticing. Showon explains how to interact with the animals, and Xi Chi boldly approaches a goat, grabbing its horns and posing happily for a picture while riding on its back. As they prepare to leave, Xi Chi realizes her phone is missing and searches for it frantically. She finds it, but sees the bus leaving without her, making her anxious and unsure of what to do. Seeing her distress, Showon assures her he will stay with her, and they hitch a ride with a farmer back to the city. Xi Chi feels relieved under the clear skies and pleasant weather, but their relief is short-lived as the driver accidentally hits a young lamb. They stop to check on it and take it back to the farm for treatment. After giving initial care, they arrange for it to receive further treatment at a clinic the next day. Despite being worried about being late for dinner, Xi Chi goes to the hospital to find her mother, only to learn from a doctor that her mother does not stay overnight but returns home daily. This news surprises Xi Chi. Later, her mother comes out of surgery, and Xi Chi's roommate updates her on the situation. Her attempts to contact her daughter fail, so she calls Xi Chi's father, who says that Xi Chi does not have an email. Realizing Xi Chi was pretending to be her in their email exchanges, her father gets upset, leaving Xi Chi feeling distressed. Showon tries to comfort her. To her surprise, Xi Chi gets an email from her mother and reads it eagerly. She calls her mother, who explains she moved to a different hospital ward and forgot to inform her. Xi Chi is overjoyed, realizing it was a misunderstanding, and happily returns to Showon. He then surprises her with news. He has secured a job for her at the pet store where he works. Meanwhile, Xu Fang overhears two girls talking about Xi Chi and Showon, praising them for rescuing a lamb at the farm and noting how close they seem. Irritated, Xu Fang throws a cola bottle near them, and it splashes on their clothes when they open it. Back at her dorm, Xi Chi learns from the supervisor that a handsome guy has left her a gift. Excited, she assumes it's from Showon. The next day, Xi Chi visits the shooting club and tells Xu Fang that she is leaving the team for a job at the pet store, with Nyeyu taking her place. Xu Fang is visibly surprised and displeased. Xi Chi starts her first day at the pet store, where the manager instructs her to clean animal cages until she becomes familiar with the job. Though reluctant, Xi Chi agrees. Later, the coach introduces Nyeyu to the team as the new assistant. Xu Fang's friend is happy because he likes Nyeyu and helps her pick up clothes, revealing to her that Xu Fang has feelings for Xi Chi and asking for her help to bring them closer. Meanwhile, Xi Chi works at the store, with Showon arriving to help her. In the evening, Xi Chi returns to the dorm exhausted. Nyeyu tells her that Xu Fang has been asking about her frequently at the club. The next day, Xi Chi confronts Xu Fang. They have an arm wrestling match, and Xi Chi loses. Feeling rushed for work, she rides her bike there. Upon arrival, the manager scolds her for being late, warning that it's her final chance and emphasizing that rules can't be bent just because she's the owner's son's friend. Xi Chi is surprised to learn about Showon's father's ownership of the store. During work, she tries to guess which cages need cleaning, only to be scolded by the manager, leaving her upset. Xi Chi walks away in tears, with Showon following to console and encourage her. The next day, Xi Chi returns to the pet store and finds Showon there alone, as the manager is on vacation. She tends to the animals and prepares their meals, while Showon compliments her and guides her in trimming a dog's nails, playfully flirting with her. In an accidental moment, Xi Chi injures herself, feeling embarrassed by the mishap. Showon rushes her to the clinic, where she receives a shot for her injury. Xu Fang becomes upset with Showon, feeling responsible for the accident. Xi Chi is surprised by Xu Fang's concern for her well-being. Tension lingers as Xu Fang leaves briefly to fetch her medication. Once out of the clinic, Xi Chi takes a walk with Showon, who tells her that he wasn't the one who left her the gift. He then reveals himself as the sender, and Xi Chi thanks him, walking back to the dorm with him. Later, Xi Chi visits her mother, who expresses worry upon learning of her injury, advising her to be more careful. Xi Chi cherishes her mother's concern. As the semester ends, students prepare to return home, but Xu Fang stays for winter training with the shooting team, disappointed he won't see Xi Chi. Encouraged by his friend to confess his feelings before she leaves, Xu Fang hesitates. When Xu Fang calls Xi Chi, she tells him she will keep working at the pet store. Xu Fang hears Showon in the background, talking about watching fireworks together, and feels jealous, angrily walking away. Xi Chi is chasing a dog around the store when Showon's parents arrive. They scold her for not paying attention and warn her that the dog might escape. Showon introduces Xi Chi as his university classmate. Xi Chi steps away to let them talk and gets a call from her mother, who sadly says she won't make it for New Year's Eve. Xi Chi feels disheartened, hoping for a family reunion. She looks sadly at Showon and his family, then goes to Xu Fang's dorm and finds him packing for winter training. She realizes he won't be going home. Trying to talk to Xu Fang gets no response, and Xi Chi leaves upset. She returns to her dorm, finding it empty except for the broken gift from Xu Fang. She tearfully collects the pieces from the floor. The next day, Xi Chi visits her mother at the hospital, waiting in her office. Her spirits lift when she sees her mother holding their photo album, but she is shocked to find pictures of her mother with another man and their daughter. Xi Chi confronts her mother, asking when her parents divorced. She learns it happened a decade ago. Feeling betrayed and abandoned, Xi Chi breaks down, questioning why her mother kept this secret for so long and struggling to understand. Her mother remains aloof despite Xi Chi's tears and attempts to explain her feelings. Xi Chi expresses her sense of abandonment, saying she feels her mother has given up on her and her brother and no longer loves them. Crying, Xi Chi leaves the hospital and wanders the city, lost in memories of happier times with her mother. At night, Xu Fang prepares for training when he gets a call from Xi Chi's father, who is worried because he can't reach her. Concerned, Xu Fang searches for Xi Chi, looking everywhere he can think of, but doesn't find her. Finally, Xi Chi answers his call. Xu Fang's relief turns to frustration as he scolds her and asks where she is. She says she's at her usual spot, so Xu Fang rushes to her. He finds Xi Chi in tears and visibly upset. Xu Fang gently lifts her onto his back, like he used to, and carries her. Xi Chi, drunk and disoriented, needs rest, so Xu Fang takes her to a nearby hotel. He watches over her as she sleeps, his concern evident. Upon waking up, Xi Chi gets a call from her father, who is checking on her. She doesn't mention the truth about their parents' divorce, feeling nervous. Ending the call quickly, she feels uneasy, especially when Xu Fang suddenly enters the room. Hastily gathering her belongings, Xi Chi tries to leave, but Xu Fang intercepts her and asks her to wait. They share a meal together, during which Xi Chi confides in Xu Fang about her parents' divorce and her longing for a normal family life. Xu Fang listens empathetically, offering her comfort and understanding. Afterward, Xi Chi goes to the pet store where she works and tells Shouwen that she needs some time off without giving details. She says goodbye to the dogs and boards the bus home with Xu Fang. When she arrives home, Xi Chi retreats to her room without talking to anyone. Her father visits her and explains the truth about the divorce and why they decided to hide it from her when she was younger. Heartbroken by her father's long-held secret, Xi Chi tearfully asks to be left alone. The next day, Xi Chi wakes up to find a message from Xu Fang, informing her of his training and urging her to reach out if she needs anything. Xi Gang enters her room and surprises her by admitting that he knew about their parents' divorce but didn't tell her earlier to spare her feelings. Touched by Xi Gang's consideration, Xi Chi is deeply moved. On New Year's Eve, Xi Chi gathers with her father and brother for a family dinner, but her heart aches because her mother is not there. Retreating to her room, she receives a message from her mother wishing her a happy new year, but Xi Chi remains silent, consumed by sadness. Suddenly, fireworks light up the sky outside her window. Looking down, she sees Xu Fang beneath her house, waving and sending her heartfelt wishes for the new year. Xi Chi is overjoyed, thanks him, and spends the rest of the night enjoying the dazzling display. The following day, Xi Chi wakes to find her mother at the door, but she doesn't respond and keeps it closed. Her mother, visibly upset, meets Xu Fang on the street and pleads with him, explaining why she kept the truth from Xi Chi. Apologizing, she asks Xu Fang to support her daughter until she feels better. Xu Fang agrees and heads to Xi Chi's house with breakfast, taking care of her. Xi Chi eats with newfound happiness, then goes on a bus ride with Xu Fang. He closes the window to shield her from the cold and brings her to his home, where his mother warmly welcomes her. Xi Chi feels comforted by their home, touched by old photos that stir memories and emotions. Finding her in tears, Xu Fang reassures her of his unwavering support, ready to confess his love, but Xi Chi already knows. Surprised, Xu Fang asks how she found out, and Xi Chi hints at her conversation with her mother. Nervous, Xu Fang takes her out for ice cream. Xi Chi orders 5, but realizing her appetite, she settles for 1, enjoying the moment together, filled with happiness. After returning to her university dorm, Xi Chi organizes her belongings. She arranges to meet Shouwen at a store, where his surprise at seeing her is overshadowed by a poignant encounter with a man buying dog food. The man, taking a call from his wife, tears up upon hearing that his dog had passed away, a lie to shield her from worry. Xi Chi empathizes deeply, recalling her own mother's similar lies to protect her from pain. Later, she joins Xu Fang and playfully handles his bike. Trying to steer, she inadvertently causes him to fall, and he clutches his shoulder in pain. Concerned, she suggests a clinic visit, but Xu Fang insists on going to the hospital. He informs Xi Chi's mother via message. The doctor reassures them that his shoulder is only bruised, but Xu Fang feels embarrassed about the incident. Xi Chi, sensing something amiss, playfully confronts him, continuing the charade. As they leave the room, they unexpectedly encounter Xi Chi's mother, who seeks reconciliation and extends a hand in peace. Xi Chi, still hurt, hesitates despite her mother's lunch invitation. Changing clothes, she finds Xu Fang respecting her space, leaving mother and daughter alone. Over pizza, her mother confesses her enduring love and asks for forgiveness, but Xi Chi remains unyielding and leaves tearfully. The following day, Xi Chi accompanies Xu Fang to replace a broken cup, symbolizing their bond. Visiting the pet store afterward, she enjoys playing with the dogs and then returns to her dorm. In the quiet of night, Xi Chi dreamt of meeting Xu Fang, who surprised her with a bouquet of flowers, confessing his love and moving to hug her. Her heart raced until she abruptly woke, shaken by the vividness of her dream. Confused by these feelings, she feared what they meant for her friendship with Xu Fang. A call from Shouwen interrupted her thoughts. A dog had gotten loose. Xi Chi hurriedly dressed and met him to search for the dog. They got separated, and Xi Chi asked bystanders for help, but Shouwen eventually found her with the dog. He confessed his feelings, but Xi Chi gently explained she loved someone else. Disappointed but understanding, Shouwen accepted her decision, choosing to stay friends. Back in her dorm that night, Xi Chi wondered how to get Xu Fang's attention. Her friend arrived with a replacement cup as a peace offering, which Xi Chi accepted on the condition of a makeup tutorial. They laughed, easing the tension and restoring their bond. The next day, Xi Chi's friends styled her for a night at the club. Xu Fang was surprised by her lipstick, making her heart skip a beat. Delighted by his notice, she sought his approval, but he teasingly remarked that she looked like she had eaten a dead rat. Hiding her irritation, she accepted his jacket with gratitude and admired his kindness. Determined to support him, she cheered his every move, calling him the greatest player, amusing the onlookers. Xu Fang's irritation at her overenthusiasm stung, causing her to retreat in embarrassment. Later, Xi Chi visited the dog shop and was pleasantly surprised by Si Gang's visit, where he met Shouwen. As they left, Si Gang suggested that Shouwen's kindness and wealth made him a good choice. Firmly, she declared Xu Fang superior. Unexpectedly, Xu Fang appeared and overheard her words, causing Xi Chi to blush with nervous embarrassment. They agreed to have lunch together, and Xi Chi playfully teased her brother throughout, pretending to clean his clothes with playful swats. As the day ended, Si Gang said goodbye, and Xi Chi hugged him warmly, wishing him luck with his studies. Riding behind Xu Fang on his bike, she hugged him happily. Realizing Xu Fang's birthday was coming up, Xi Chi decided to buy him a cake and a gift with her savings. When she arrived at his dorm, she found Xu Fang asleep and playfully doodled on his face with a pen, provoking his mock anger. Though he restrained himself due to his affection for her, he followed her after washing his face, pretending to be annoyed. Back in his dorm, he asked her to clean his face, both feeling awkwardly close. Xi Chi then lit candles and presented Xu Fang with his gift, a shoulder pad for training. Delighted, he hugged her, confessed his love, and asked her to be his girlfriend. She joyfully accepted, but their moment was interrupted by Xu Fang's embarrassed friends, who quickly left. Holding Xi Chi's hand, Xu Fang spent the rest of the day with her, dropping her off at her dorm that evening. She marveled at how things had turned out. Xu Fang reassured her with a hug that it was real, leaving Xi Chi ecstatic as she shared the story with her friend. The next day, Xi Chi felt a newfound happiness, enjoying the feeling of being in love. Eager to start the day well, she planned to buy breakfast for Xu Fang, but found him already at her dorm with a meal in hand, delighting her with his thoughtfulness. They enjoyed breakfast together in the garden, savoring each moment. Later, after her classes, Xu Fang waited for Xi Chi with his bike, and she happily rode behind him as they headed out for lunch. Seeing them together, Shouwen felt a pang of jealousy. Sensing Xi Chi needed a break, Xu Fang took her to the zoo. Though the sight of confined animals made her sad, they later walked through the rain, taking pictures and cherishing their time together. As their bond deepened, Xu Fang introduced Xi Chi to his family. His mother welcomed her warmly, saying she was like a daughter. Xi Chi joined their family album, their picture now among cherished memories. In the evening, they walked together, enjoying the falling snow, before visiting a familiar store owned by friends. Xi Chi reminisced about past encounters with the shopkeeper and ordered their favorite pasta, playfully calling them a perfect match. On another occasion, Xu Fang surprised Xi Chi with a gift, saying she could only open it at the right moment. They returned to the city by bus, where Xi Chi hesitated before letting him sit beside her, eventually falling asleep on his shoulder. Xu Fang stayed by her side, ensuring her comfort, and they watched fireworks together, happy in each other's company. Back at her dorm, Xi Chi's friends teased her about her outing with Xu Fang, making her feel bashful. Meanwhile, Xi Gang completed his exams and received an acceptance letter from Xi Chi's university. He arrived in the city and invited Xi Chi to lunch to celebrate, with Xu Fang joining them. Later, at a major championship for the shooting team, Xi Chi came to say goodbye. She wished Xu Fang good luck and hugged him before he left. At the stadium, Xu Fang met the captain of the opposing team, who he had previously defeated. The captain vowed revenge and victory in the finals. The competition began with many players, and those with the lowest scores were eliminated in the first round. From the stands, Xi Chi watched anxiously as Xu Fang advanced to the final round, where his opponent, a seasoned professional and former rival, awaited. They had a tense contest. Xu Fang initially took the lead, but during the final shot, he felt dizzy and his vision blurred. Summoning all his strength, he closed his eyes, focused, and released the arrow, hitting the target perfectly. The referee declared him the champion, and Xi Chi cheered and congratulated him over the phone. His opponent approached, graciously acknowledging Xu Fang's skill and sportsmanship. However, Xu Fang remained restless. He trained tirelessly on his own, catching the coach's attention, who advised him to rest for the upcoming tournament. The next day, during the team competition, Xu Fang appeared tense and withdrawn, unlike his usual self. Concerned, his friend asked him what was wrong, but Xu Fang stayed silent. As the team led the competition, the moment came for Xu Fang to secure the championship with a crucial shot. Plagued by dizziness and trembling hands, he struggled to focus. When he released the arrow, it missed the target, a shocking failure for Xu Fang, known for his flawless accuracy. The university team lost the championship, leaving everyone in disbelief. Afterwards, Xu Fang's friend confronted him, accusing him of deliberately missing the shot to prioritize the individual championship over the team's victory. Xu Fang did not respond and walked away, leaving his friend feeling betrayed. Back at the university, the team's somber mood puzzled Xi Chi, who offered congratulations. Her friend explained what had happened. Later, at the shooting range, Xu Fang tried to train but couldn't hit the target. Frustrated, he threw his bow to the ground. Confronted by his teammates in the changing room, Xu Fang harshly called them a burden and said he was quitting the sport. His friend, devastated, threw down his arrows, denouncing Xu Fang's leadership. Learning of the situation, Xi Chi sought out Xu Fang, finding him alone under a tree. She tried to understand his reasons, but Xu Fang, consumed by sadness, revealed he was quitting to focus on his studies. After their conversation, Xi Chi walks with Xu Fang, asking about his plans after graduation and suggesting he might consider coaching. Xu Fang reacts unexpectedly, becoming upset and abruptly ending the conversation. She watches him leave, puzzled by his sudden mood change. Seeking solace, Xu Fang retreats to a secluded spot in the mountains to practice archery alone. His frustration grows as he struggles to hit any targets. Concerned, the coach searches for Xu Fang and eventually finds his hidden practice area, surprised by Xu Fang's decline in accuracy. When Xu Fang returns and sees the coach, he questions why he's there. The coach takes the bow and arrows and leads Xu Fang to a new, distant target. With the coach's guidance, Xu Fang successfully hits the target, surprising himself. The coach recognizes Xu Fang's psychological barriers and suggests professional rehabilitation, even proposing treatment abroad. Xu Fang, hesitant yet thoughtful, promises to consider it before leaving. Meanwhile, Xi Chi studies at the library when Xu Fang's call interrupts her. She eagerly meets him and hugs him warmly, expressing how much she missed him. Xu Fang tells her about his plans to go abroad for further training, which shocks and saddens Xi Chi, making her feel abandoned again like when her mother left. Tearfully, she walks away, leaving Xu Fang feeling guilty and afraid of losing her. Moved by Xi Chi's reaction, Xu Fang talks to the coach and decides to stay instead of traveling abroad. The coach tries to persuade him to pursue his dreams, but Xu Fang remains firm in his decision to stay with Xi Chi. At night, Xi Chi walks alone, lost in her thoughts, with tears in her eyes. Her friend notices her distress and invites her to the archery club, where Xu Fang is practicing and struggling with his aim through tears. The coach explains Xu Fang's situation to Xi Chi and gives her binoculars to watch. Seeing Xu Fang's difficulty hitting the target leaves Xi Chi shocked and saddened, tears streaming down her face. The next day, Xi Chi waits for Xu Fang outside the dormitory, and they go to a nearby restaurant. Xu Fang is surprised to find his friend working there. Xi Chi discreetly gives them privacy to talk. During their conversation, Xu Fang's friend reveals his father's financial struggles, unable to support Xu Fang's university expenses after losing money. The archery championship was his last chance for a scholarship, and its loss forced him to work to make ends meet. Xu Fang is deeply affected by his friend's words, overwhelmed with guilt. Together, they share a solemn moment, finding comfort in each other's company. So the moral of the story is, if you're going to lie to someone, make sure they don't make you erase the teacher's board, steal your chair, or make you wear tight pants. Just stick to telling the truth and maybe invest in a good bike lock.